Poised for Exit is a show for business owners who want to achieve a successful exit based on their own terms. Your business exit will likely be the biggest financial transaction of your life, and for most, you'll have one shot at doing it right. The topics and guests we feature and the stories they share will provide valuable ideas and strategies to improve operations and grow enterprise value so you can achieve the best possible exit outcome. Now here's your host, award-winning certified exit planning advisor, Julie Keys.
Welcome everyone to the Poised for Exit podcast show. Today's guest is a senior product leader whose company specializes in AI-enabled platforms and enterprise transformation. We're going to talk with him about custom AI solutions for private companies, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Exiting your business is a big deal, both financially and emotionally. I'm John Marquet, certified exit planning advisor with TrustPoint. We help business owners transition smoothly on their terms. Our focus is on maximizing value, minimizing stress, and giving you confidence in what's next. Whether you're selling or passing the torch, we make the process seamless. Start planning today at trustpointinc.com. That's trustpointinc.com.
Thinking about selling your business in the next few years? Don't wait to start planning. I've seen too many business owners wait too long and regret it. Freedom Financial Partners are financial advisors who specialize in exit planning for business owners, helping you reduce tax surprises, protect what you've built, and quantify how much you need from the sale. Their proven process helps you think beyond your business so you can move forward with clarity and confidence. The longer you wait, the fewer options you may have. Download your free financial readiness assessment today at ffpforme.com/exit. That's ffpforme.com/exit.
This is Andy Kosamba, president of Calhoun Companies. We understand that selling your business is a big deal. Since 1908, Calhoun Companies has been confidently connecting buyers and sellers. From small family shops to large corporations, our expert brokers walk with you and guide you every step of the way, whether you're looking to retire or simply for a fresh start. If you're curious what your business could sell for, or if you're ready to start the process, head to calhouncompanies.com for a free and confidential consultation. Calhoun Companies, the confident choice for buyers and sellers.
My name is Todd Crow, and I'm the president of the Twin Cities Exit Planning Chapter. If you're a business owner and advisor and want to learn more about the world of exit planning, you're invited to visit the Twin Cities chapter of the Exit Planning Institute. You can expect top-level education delivered by subject matter experts at every monthly meeting. Grow your network and draw from the learning that could be a game changer for your business or your practice. There's no pressure to become a member, so come and see what the buzz is all about. Our meetings are held the second Wednesday of the month, 7:30 to 9 a.m. See the show notes for more information and registration links.
Hello, Poised for Exit listeners. We are here today with Mariano Jurich, senior product leader at Making Sense LLC, and Mariano's been on the show in the past. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you for having me back. Very happy to be here.
Very happy to have you here. Gosh, it's not often that I get to interview someone who has the technical background that you have. You know, you've really accomplished a lot of things, right? You've got a lot of credentials, a lot of expertise. You're not only an expert in technology development, but you're also a business development person. You're product development. So we only have like 25 minutes. So we're going to have to go really fast.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, anyways. So since the last you were on the show, let's talk about what's been going on with Making Sense, because I know that like technology is advanced. A lot of people are wondering about it. And so let's just start with that before we go into the rest.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, of course. I think I was here 2 years ago or so. A lot have changed. The world is completely different right now. And so are companies. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of adapting and evolving to these new tools that are available for everybody, and trying to find our way to keep adding the same value and align these new tools with the vision that we have, which has always been the same. We always want to improve people's life by delivering great experiences. So yeah, it's been a lot of learning, a lot of adapting to new things, a lot of rethinking our service, but it's been a good ride, and it's been quite interesting also to see how all the companies are reacting to this new technology available.
And most of your training came from MIT, is that right? So you came here from Argentina. When did you come to the States, actually?
Definitely 2019.
Yeah.
But before that, I've been traveling on and off for a couple of
Right.
years. But yeah, living here since July 2019.
And that's when we met, I think, because you were here for ACG's like private equity capital raise, or I can't remember exactly what they used to call it, but a lot of different investors would show up from different parts of the country, and you were here representing Making Sense. So I think that was when we met, and so much has gone on since then. And here we are, and now you're in your home in Dallas, and you're going to be traveling again. You've got a lot of big clients that you do projects for. You were just telling me about before the show. Yeah. So let's talk about the AI industry, since so many people really want to hear about that. And then what's the view of Making Sense when it comes to that industry?
Yeah, there is. We try to be focused on our clients and what they need and the space that they move on. It's not the same to work with a startup, that started last month, that to work with a middle market company, private equity back that has been running the business for 30 years. The scenarios are different, the needs are different, the expectations are different. So we've been trying to come up with different approaches that, again, keeps fulfilling the value that they are expecting out of a technology partner such as we are, and leveraging as much as we can these new technologies. So we can talk the whole day about these type of things, but mainly if I should put it on big groups, is agentic AI software development, which is our core. We're still doing custom software builds with
Sure.
heavy focus on product strategy and UX design. But then we've been doing a lot of work also on the low hanging fruits, short implementation time, high ROI, which that comes with a lot of considerations. I mean, we can get a little bit into the details of that. But yeah, that's, again, or to put it in a nutshell, is how can we use this technology on a proper way to deliver the expected value? And let me tell you, the answer is not always AI. So again, we
Sure.
try to be very careful where we implement this. But yeah, I would say, pretty in a nutshell, that's it.
Yeah, gosh, that is so smart. I was going to say it makes so much sense, but
Yeah, it always works.
yeah, I was thinking about the name of the company, and I know you've been with the company for a while now, right? Like 15 years or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're coming up to
Yeah.
15 years. Yeah.
Were you involved in the naming of the company? Making Sense?
No, I was not. The company originally was called Common Sense, and then there was like a trademark issue, and then we moved to Making Sense. But I was involved on the rebranding process that we went through probably 7 years ago, where we redefined our message, how do we position, and we came up with this our slogan, which is "We make sense out of chaos."
Right. And we know that there is a lot of that right now. And I love your point about AI is not always the answer. And I think, I don't know, from what I've seen, especially with the larger companies, and I'm sure you're seeing this as well, that they are, or have, I should say, implemented all kinds of very expensive customized AI applications, but didn't necessarily succeed with that because the people didn't have the buy-in.
Yeah, that's adoption is a big issue, but I think, and it's great that you're asking this, because this week actually, by the time we're recording this episode, I was at the Atlanta AI Week conference, and one of the speakers, which his name is Stephen Gates. So Stephen, if you're listening, thank you for all the knowledge you dropped there. It was amazing. He is the founder of Crazy Design, which is a branding company and design company. Really good. You should check it out. They are doing an incredible job. But he put together so many concepts that I 100% agree with, and he put them on such an easy way to consume. And I think, to his point and to what I think, especially from my background, as you mentioned, which is not only technical, but also a product and user focus, there are so many things that you should consider before implementing these type of technologies. And at the end of the day, you got to remember two things. Number one is, this is just a tool, and you got to make sure that you're using the right tool for the right job. And then this, like, if you go like 20,000 feet point of view, this is a tool that receives text and return text at the end of the day. That's all it is. It's super simplified. So you gotta have some considerations. And when it comes to value, which is what everybody talks about, so before it was the two type of value, right? Like strategy and execution value, if you will, where strategy was pretty much stable, and then the execution value was kind of some sort of the commodity, right? And it was constantly disrupted because newer technologies, new way of doing things. So companies were used to like kind of adapt on that front, but always on the same extent, which was human led, right? So now you have this whole new dimension where you throw this new technology, and now you can do human-led things or AI-led things, right? And if you think about the intersections, human-led execution in this case is the old model, right? So it's slow, it's expensive, it's hard to scale, and people are moving away from that. So if you look at the AI-led execution, I think at this point, that's table stakes, if you ask me. And the main reason why I'm saying that is because when everybody can produce at speed, stops being an advantage for companies. And then when it gets interesting is when you move to the strategy side, where if you look at the human-led strategy, I think that's the non-negotiable, right? That's what it has to be there, like the vision, the strategy, the taste judgment, the strategic vision, the ability to discard ideas intentionally with your criteria. I think that's what it has to be there. I mean, non-negotiable. And then you get into this super interesting, which I use a lot, like the strategy AI-led portion of it, which for me, it's amplified thinking, if you will. It's something that lets you understand boundaries and find patterns and do exploration at a faster pace, right? Mm-hmm. But at some point, people need to understand that create, plausible noise, if you will. And when I say plausible, what I mean is when tools let people produce something that looks like expertise without all the thinking behind, that's like something that is plausible. And it's kind of dangerous because you can't tell the difference between plausible and strategic, right? So if you cannot tell the difference, it's very probable that plausible is going to win, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that the main reason why that happens is because many companies mix up output and outcome, which are two completely different things.
And speak to that. Output and outcome, please.
Yeah, that's pretty much, to put it in a nutshell, is when you can create bad ideas faster, that is an advantage, right? Right. So that's why I think it's really important, like the human-led strategy, and keep that into consideration. And also, we run into many companies that are like, we want to create agentic AI and we want to wipe out all of operation and we want to be super efficient. And let's think, okay, that's an option, but there is the knowledge. And again, remember, it's just that this is a tool that receives text and returns text, pretty much. I mean, I'm for the audience, I'm super simplifying it, and I understand the complexity and how wonderful this is. But I mean, holistically speaking, that's what it is. So there has to be some expertise on the other side of the screen that can, properly configure the tool for the right outcome and judge if the outcome is the one that you're expecting or it's just output, right? So yeah, I think, what I've seen is, I don't think companies should be thinking of wiping out the whole operation, right? Because think about 5-10 years, it's going to take the management roles, like the agents. Could be, maybe we're in a situation where the technology is capable of doing that, but that human thing and expertise, I think, is always needed. And honestly, what's going to happen is, if you think about I say the old model, it's just it's been 2 years or 3 years since the technology has been available. But so normally it's if you think about a pyramid, a lot of people at the top thinking, some people in the middle management, and then a lot of people doing. So I think that pyramid is going to turn upside down, and then there's going to be a lot of people thinking with the critical vision and human-led strategy. Some people doing management, and then very few people doing, because you have all these tools that can accelerate that output for you. And so I think companies should be thinking about removing layers instead of wiping out operations, if you will.
I love that. And it's just moving so fast that, what we say today will probably be different a year from now, right? Or even 6 months from now. But we know too that there's a lot of investable cash out there ready to be deployed, right, in the private equity sector. Mm-hmm. And I know that you guys are working with several different firms, not only with their entire platforms, but even just, middle market companies that aren't necessarily owned by PE, but might be at some point. And you're helping them to drive value and drive efficiency. How are things different from your chair now than they were, say, for instance, a year ago when it came to technology, regardless if it had AI to do with anything or not? But I'm just talking about what are they looking for, and what are they asking you to do? What kind of projects?
Yeah, I think because of all the information and some of the noise that is out there, I've noticed that many people really like to talk about, all the FOMO and all the things that, you should be worried about with this new technology. I think it's fair, but I think creates some, wrong expectations in people. So fighting with expectations has been one of the things that have changed definitely. I feel like now people want a lot of certainty up front, much more than they used to. And they are overthinking a lot the decisions before pulling the trigger. And some of the cases I can bring to the table is like there are some companies that we work with. We do some assessment with them. And again, no, companies don't want to focus on like company-wide actions as they used to. Now they want to be super specific on one specific process and then try it out that works and it brings the expected ROI, and then they can move forward to the broader company. But even in those situations where you get super narrow, they are like, let me think about it. And we're like, okay, but what is your concern, right? What are you thinking about?
Yeah.
And it's been incredible to see how the mental model operates and how the priorities change. Now they're worrying about how is this technology going to work? How can I control that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing? How can I interact with this technology? How many tokens I'm going to be burning, right? How much is going to cost to maintain this new infrastructure, which are totally valid questions. And many of these processes could easily work without a UI, right? So that's not needed. But yeah, those have been some of the thoughts. And then some more people are like, why should I hire Making Sense and not do it with Cloud Code or Cloud Cowork or things like that, right? Which is a total valid question. It has answers. But yeah, there's a whole new, I think, new paradigm out there, and people are just wrapping their minds around it. And again, all the news and noise, I think that doesn't help to drive decision making at this point. So sales cycles have been longer, definitely, for smaller projects, shorter duration for sure, but the volume has increased a lot significantly, right? Because everybody wants to get in there and nobody is entirely sure how, especially in this, as you mentioned, like middle market, private equity backed, 20, 30-year-old companies. They're all looking forward to somehow getting this wave. They just don't know exactly how or where to get started. And that's where we can help.
Yeah. Yeah, the one project at a time. It seems pretty problematic to me just because it's like they're creating something that's kind of a standalone almost, right? And makes it probably more complicated for you guys to try to integrate it in what they're already trying to accomplish. So does the patchwork even work?
That's a great point, Julie, and that's a core problem. If you want to automate a single process, by all means use Cloud Code or Cloud Cowork. Now, if you want to build a scalable AI solution across company, that's when you should call us and we can help you, put that together. Which
Perfect.
We're going to use some of these LLMs, but the infrastructure and the scalability of it's much more than a consumer app or a consumer tool that you could implement.
And to your point on the overthinking and taking a long time, so the sales cycle makes for like a longer close and a longer completion. When it does finally finish, like how are you guys involved? Maybe we should talk a little bit, if you're okay with this, a little bit about the process that Making Sense uses. Like if I'm a new client, like you probably take me through like a discovery, I would assume, and then how does it work?
Yeah, it varies. Ideal scenario, we would love to. It's not so much a discovery anymore. I think discovery was more when you understand users and you create, these user personas and value propositions and business models and things like that. I think now it boils down more to some sort of mapping out what processes are the ones that are candidates for this type of automations, which is normally, and I'm saying this because that's been like 99.9% of the requests that we have, right? I want to use this towards operational efficiency, reducing cost, decreasing times. So ideally, we will get there, do a map out, understand what the process takes, how many systems are involved in that process, how many people do you have involved right now, what's the current cost of this specific process within your organization, how critical it is for the business, how critical it is for the internal operation, how much is the expected ROI that we think about this. I mean, we do like very simple math here and using a lot of benchmark, but if you have 5 people doing a single process and now we can, turn that down to 2 or 1, well, those salaries times 12 months, that's pretty much your ROI right there. And it's immediate and it's measurable.
Sure.
And then what we've been doing is working on some other tools, Julie. We've been putting together what we call making sense of AI, which again, naming work in our favor there too. But it's pretty much a dashboard where it's going to be the outcome of this process that we just discussed, where you can see if you're an operating partner or a private equity firm, all a snapshot of all your portfolio companies. And then within each of those companies, you can see by department, what's the readiness, what are the top candidates for automation, what is the ROI expected for those. And it gives you, visual tools to make decision towards what's going to be next and why. And I think that facilitates a lot of that, visibility in terms of how big of a implementation are we talking about and what is the expected total ROI for this company or for the entire portfolio.
So it's kind of a customized dashboard. Is that
Correct. Yes, it's a customized dashboard that we put together, and again, that's the new deliverable of this. So before no, because we're still doing that. Normally on the discovery, you get wireframes and mockups and user personas and value maps and service mappings and all those things. So now we turn all those deliverables into this like one site with all the information that you need to make decisions. And what it allows us is to think broader and more strategic across either the company and departments or across the portfolio, and not be thinking about an individual process that, again, by all means, if you want to automate one of that only, you should go with one of the tools available in the market.
Sure. Now that makes total sense. So let's talk a little bit about the UCLA Anderson Venture Accelerator. You have just become a mentor for that program.
Yeah, I'm very happy and very grateful to have that opportunity. I've been doing similar things for LVAM, which is part of Stanford Business School too. I was there on site last year, and I'm doing another talk on the end of May, with another cohort. But yeah, it's been an incredible experience to be able to not only share knowledge. And I don't want to say teach, because I don't think I'm in any position to teach anybody, but I'm for sure I have some experience and I could, share thoughts and experiences such as we're doing here, but also learning from these people and, see how they think. It's been very rewarding and very nurturing for, like my mindset, my ideas, and, to see what people are doing there and how do they think about this technology. It's been incredible.
So tell me about a typical candidate then, a mentee candidate for you. Do you know yet, or is it still too new? Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. No, it's new. The first one is going to be next week. Again, by the time we're recording this, it's going to be next week on Wednesday. So it's a little bit all over the place. It's not like a specific type of persona, but it's similar like early stage companies that have some traction already and they're looking to scale. And they want to understand what are the options or what are the things that you should be considering while, implementing these technologies broader. And again, it's just it's not consulting. I mean, I always see it as a place to share thoughts and experiences rather than, a consulting session for them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, most of the talking is done by the mentee, right? But you're there with your expertise and you've been doing this a long time. And I'm sure that you have a ton of stories that you could share about different clients and different projects that you've worked on. But we're almost out of time. And what I would appreciate ending with today is, because of the background that you have, because you've been in technology for so long and you've seen such, an evolvement of different applications and capabilities, right? What, in your mind, are some of the most important things that a private company owner or decision-making team needs to be paying attention to right now as it relates to that?
Yeah, I think there is a lot of that related with adoption. I will encourage people to don't think that they could bring a bunch of agents and run the business the same way that it's been running for, this many years. There is a lot of optimization opportunities, but the knowledge and the adoption is key for it to be successful, because you have the tool, but nobody uses it. Nobody gives it feedback. Nobody provides the data to iterate and be more specific and accurate with the responses, because at the end of the day, this is a statistic tool, right? It's probabilistic, it's not deterministic. So the more you can train it, the better it gets. And in order to do so, you need that criteria and that knowledge. So just think about that. don't be overwhelmed with all the news. Just start small and think what's good for your company and what's your vision. And again, remember that AI is just a tool. And then for those who overthink, on this conference last week, someone said something along the lines that the world is changing very fast. But if you think about it, it will never be as slow as it is today. So,
good point.
So don't procrastinate decisions. Try to make decisions. Try to move forward.
Wow. Yeah. That's a good thing to end with. Wow. Think about that, people. Wow, that's amazing. So again, Mariano, thank you so much for being on the show. There's so many more questions I have, but we'll have to have you back because there'll be more to talk about. And the world is moving at a faster pace then than it is now, right?
Yeah, 100%. Especially if the cloud team keeps delivering with this output they have, yeah, I'm sure next month we'll have a whole new thing to talk about. So, but yeah, Julie, I'm more than happy to be back whenever you need. For the audience, if you want to reach out to have any conversation, I'm more than happy to have those. And again, thank you so much for having me again. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. And congratulations again on your appointment. That's fantastic. UCLA. Wow. And thank you also to our listeners and our sponsors. We really appreciate you listening and sharing and supporting the show. Please do join us again next time and check out that YouTube page.